hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today we're doing a whip and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, so get out whatever that is for you. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now, I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. It is a beautiful day here today in North Dakota, and I am so excited because this weekend we are going to the pool. Let's go. So it has gotten nice here in North Dakota. Spring has finally sprung. I can finally say it without fear of a blizzard happening right after I say it. The evenings are getting down to like the low 50s, so it's not cold, like super cold at night where everything's like frosting over in the morning. So it's really, really nice. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Mother's Day to all who celebrate. I am not the biggest fan of Mother's Day, and I know I have beautiful children and a spouse that loves me, and you know, I get that. But can we please normalize that on Mother's Day, leave mom alone? Can that be a thing? That's all I wanted this year. I just wanted to be left alone. One, I don't typically, like I said, I don't typically like Mother's Day. Bad, like, whatever. Like, I have mommy issues. So I'm not the biggest fan of Mother's Day. And so on Mother's Day, typically, I just like being left alone. I have to bust my butt to take care of this house all day, every day. And then Mother's Day is that one day where I'm like, I ain't doing nothing, okay? You're lucky if I get out of this bed. Now, this Mother's Day, I didn't really have a choice about getting out of bed. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm minding my own business. Saturday, we did the 12-hour live stream. We didn't get through 12 hours of diamond painting, unfortunately. Y'all, working on dark colors is painful. I don't know how you diamond painting gangsters do it. I cannot. I made it to about 9 hours before I was like, okay, I can't do this. I was working on Swan Lake. I did get a row essentially finished. Part of the row was already completed, but I got the rest of the row done. So that was enough work for me. That was enough progress for me. So I hope everybody else that was working with us over on Twitch got some work done on their project. We did the 12-hour live stream. I stayed up for a little bit afterwards, and then I was like, you know what? I want to go to bed. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. So I go to bed, and in the morning when I wake up abruptly because all I hear is, no, I'm coming. No, I'm going. No, I'm fine. And as I open my eyes, I see a muffin being hurled at my head. Now, you're probably wondering, where the hell did the muffin come from? So Mr. Coffee made me muffins on Saturday while I was streaming because blueberry muffins are some of my favorite. My top favorite is banana nut muffins, but I like it when Mr. Coffee makes me blueberry muffins. So he had made me blueberry muffins, and the kids had decided to get together and bring me a muffin in bed, which I thought was very sweet of them because typically the kids know that we don't typically have food upstairs. So the fact that they were like, it's okay, it's breakfast in bed. She's not going to be angry about that. So they brought me breakfast in bed. Doing this, they were fighting over who got to give me the muffin. And then they were fighting over who got to come into the room first. Now, when you have kids that are close in age, they are going to bicker and fight. My kids are no different. They drive me absolutely insane. I love them. They're my tiny humans, but oh my God, the bickering and fighting. So they're going back and forth about who gets to bring mommy the muffin. Well, Maggie gets upset with Orion because how dare he be the one to give me the muffin. They're fighting over who was born first, and I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And I hear them coming up the stairs in my sleep. And so I wake up right as I see Maggie and Orion rush into the bedroom. Now, the dogs sleep in our room. So Daisy typically sleeps on my side of the bed, and then Killian usually sleeps on Mr. Coffee's side of the bed. So I'm sitting there and I hear them coming. Like, I can hear them in my sleep. So I kind of wake up a little bit and I go to open my eye. Right as I open my eye, I see something coming straight at me. And my reflexes normally would tell me to duck or to like put my hands up. No, I didn't have time to react. It was literally in slow motion that I see this thing coming at me. It wasn't until it was like a couple of inches from my face that I realized that they had hurled a freaking muffin at me. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, apparently Maggie pushed Orion. Orion tripped over Daisy. when Orion tripped over Daisy, his reflexes told him to throw the muffin as hard as he can straight ahead. What was straight ahead of him? Me. So when he threw the muffin hit me square in the forehead. They're both getting their 50 chuckles in. I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And Mr. Coffee, of course, is peacefully sleeping next to me, is none the wiser at the fact that his wife has just been assaulted by a freaking blueberry muffin, okay? So I look over at Mr. Coffee, again, peacefully sleeping. And if you guys have been here for a while, you know Mr. Coffee sleeps hard. Like, you could have a whole ass tornado and this man would not wake up. So I just kind of looked over and was like, hun, could you go walk the dogs, please? And he, like, pops up out of bed like Jiffy Pop. He was like, all right. So he pops up. And I was like, hold up, wait, were you awake this whole time? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh. And he's like, why is there a muffin in the bed? Dude, he says that and look at the kids. The kids go running out of the room. And I'm like, your children thought it would be a great idea to bring mommy breakfast in bed. And then they started fighting and then just hurled the muffin at my head. He's like, oh, well, that's nice. He grabs the dogs and he leaves the room. And I'm like, what the flip? So I take the muffin and I put it on my nightstand. I get a shower, get up, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, don't be in a foul mood today. Don't be in a foul mood today. Don't be in a foul... God dang it. I was in a foul mood all day that day, y'all. I felt so bad. It's not my family's fault. Like, it's not my kids or my husband's fault that I didn't have a good upbringing and that I didn't really grow up with a mom. And the mom that I did have, her and I did not get along at all. I respect her for taking care of me growing up, but I do not necessarily... I'm not fond of her. So... And that's okay. Like, I don't have to like her. Like, you don't have to like family just because, you know, they're family. Like, you can very much not like somebody in your family, whether it be your parents or like a cousin or something like that. There is nothing wrong with that because at the end of the day, they're people just like everybody else. And not everybody's going to like you and you're not going to like everybody. So there's that. So I tried not to be in a foul mood, but I couldn't help it. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I need to do some admin work or something because, like, I was fighting the urge to stream all day that day until I realized that Mr. Coffee was like, oh, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to go do some stuff on the computer. And he goes, you're not going to stream, are you? And I was like, I thought about it. And he's like, no, not today. And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, don't stream today. It's your day off. And I'm like, so? I'm bored. And he's like, well, don't stream today. Like, it's your day off. You need a day to relax. And I'm like, but I don't want to relax. I want to stream. And he's like, no. So he grabs my headphones. And I'm like, well, you don't have my headphones. He goes, I'm going to take them. And he takes and confiscates my headphones. Now, I need my headphones to hear all the alerts and stuff. And I have more than one set of headphones. But he took them all so that I wouldn't stream. So I'm sitting there mad because he done took my goddamn headphones. And so I decided, okay, well, I had some packages I needed to send out. I had a phone case cover thing I needed to return back to Amazon. And I needed to send some stuff out to Elisa. So I was like, all right, let me get this stuff done. Well, then ADHD Brain says, you have lots of stuff you could get done, like updating your Patreon. So I haven't updated my Patreon in God knows how long. And so I was like, it is time for me to update the Patreon. So if you go to the Patreon, it might look a little bit different. I did some upgrading of the tiers. I didn't add anything really. I just kind of made it seem a little bit more fluid and that it made sense because it was still acting as if there was a tier underneath my last tier. And that's because I deleted a tier because it's a channel membership. So, yeah. Get that. And that. So I updated my Patreon. I was super excited about that. I updated my Discord, which I was super excited about because this is something that I have been trying to do for the longest time. Now, if you are in the Discord or you have Patreon and or YouTube, I haven't started doing anything magical in there just yet, and we have a secret spot for you in the Discord. And in that secret spot, only those folks that are channel members and stuff can join. The thing is, you have to have your YouTube and your Patreon linked to Discord. So to do that, you can either do it in Discord by going, like, clicking the gear next to your name and then going into your settings and connections and then connecting it that way. Or you can go straight to the actual app and connect it, which I don't think YouTube allows you to go to the app and do it. I think YouTube is straight from Discord. Once you link that, it will display you in my secret thing in Discord. You'll see a new channel open up for you. And I'm going to be trying to do, like, stuff with the folks in those tiers in that Discord area. Now, I'm pretty sure you have to do it from a computer. You can't do it on mobile, because I had a couple of people that were having trouble with it when they tried doing it from mobile. But, yeah. So I got all that stuff done. I got the packages that I needed to send out. We did a giveaway over on Twitch, and then I realized that the kit that I gave away doesn't have all of its drills. So I was like, God dang it. So I had to message the winner and be like, hey, so sorry, just realized this kit doesn't have all of its drills. You mind if I just hand you a gift card to get whatever it is you want? And they were like, heck yeah. Luckily they said yeah, because if they had said no, they would have had to wait. So they took the gift card and got something that they wanted, which I was super happy that they were able to get something that they wanted. And I decided that that's probably how I'm going to do things from now on, is just do a gift card. That way you guys can get whatever it is you want, unless the kit is something that you really, really want. Kind of give you an option of which one you would rather. So there's that. So after I did that, I was like, okay. Maggie comes up. She goes, I made you a hat. And I'm like, thank you. And Orion's like, we made you a card. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. And Maggie's like, are you going to stream now? I'm like, no, Daddy said I can't stream today. And Maggie goes up to Mr. Coffee and she's like, why are you being mean to Mommy? Today's her day. And he's like, Tootsie, she's trying to work on her day off. Mommy, you can't work on your day off. I'm like, oh, sweet Lord, please help me. And she goes, we have another gift for you. And I was like, you do? And I'm thinking to myself, please tell me these kids didn't go out and, like, buy stuff, because I told everybody I don't want anything for Mother's Day. I just want to be left alone. And so the kids were like, yeah, we got something for you. So they run off, and I'm thinking, oh, okay. Where did they go? Not thinking anything of it. I just kept doing what I was doing. I've been in a kind of a rut with my artwork lately, so I decided I was going to try to do art. Yeah, that didn't help happen, because I got stuck on TikTok, and if you know about TikTok, oh boy, that rabbit hole. And so I got stuck on TikTok, so I did no art, which had me irritated because, like I said, I've been in a rut and I've been wanting to draw something, but my brain is like, you suck at art, so stop drawing. And so where I know my brain can suck a big one, it still are those intrusive thoughts you have. Sorry, there's a fluffy doggo next to me. So I've been trying to get back into doing my artwork, and I'm like, okay, you know, not whatever. I didn't think about anything. About 30 minutes later, after sitting there scrolling TikTok, Mr. Coffee gets up and starts, like, messing around with stuff, and I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing? Didn't know what he was doing. I saw a rack of ribs that I had purchased for Father's Day in the sink, and I was like, what are you doing with that? And he's like, I'm going to make it. I'm like, oh, I was saving those for Father's Day. And he's like, no, you deserve them more than me. And I'm like, nobody deserves anything more than anyone, but I was just saving those for Father's Day. And he's like, nah, it's a nice day out. I'm going to grill. And I'm like, you know what? He had me at grill, because I love grill. I love barbecue, so I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing to you. It was about this time. It was about 2 hours later. And I noticed that the kids never came back. And I'm like, where the hell did the kids go? Y'all, the kids gave me the best gift ever. They literally went away. I was so stupid. I'm sitting there wondering what the hell they got me. They got me peace. They went away. I'm sitting there for 2 hours wondering what the hell they're doing, like thinking that they're making something or whatever. No, they went away. They went outside to play. And I was like, I don't know how I missed them going outside. But I asked Mr. Coffee, I was like, hey, you seen the kids? They told me that they got me something, and then they ran off. And he's like, yeah, they're up the street. And I was like, oh, well, they didn't get me what they got me. And he's like, yeah, they did. And And I was like, well, what did they get me? I didn't get anything. He's like, they gave you peace. And I was like, oh shit, for real? So I went back into the house and sat down. And he's on the grill doing whatever. And I'm like, oh, you know, whatever. And then he comes back in. And he's like, do you want noodles and vegetables with the thing? And I'm like, noodles? Who the fuck's out here eating noodles with barbecue ribs? No, I don't want no freaking noodles. I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. So you mean to tell me you're trying to cook me dinner and you didn't even bother to ask me before you started cooking what I wanted to eat? And so you just started making stuff and then decided that you were going to ask me at the last minute what sides I wanted with the barbecue ribs? He goes, I can see this was a misjudgment on my part. And I was like, yeah, I would like mashed potatoes. He's like, we don't have any. I'm like, guess you better go get some. Now, when he left to go get the mashed potatoes, he was supposed to turn the grill off and bring the ribs inside, like a normal human would. But Mr. Coffee is not a normal human. I love him, but he's not a normal human. So Mr. Coffee, I guess, brought the ribs, or I think he left them on the grill or something. When he left to go to the store, he was supposed to turn the grill off, but he kept it closed to keep the heat in for the ribs. Doing this, it took him about 20 minutes to go to Walmart and pick up the 2 items that he needed, check out, and come back home. And I'm thinking to myself, no, did he give me the same gift as the kids? Like, did he give me peace? Like, where did he go? Well, he comes back in and he gets the stuff and starts making like the side dishes, like the mashed potatoes and stuff, because he doesn't know how to make like potato salad or anything like that. I'm going to have to teach him this year. So I was like, you know, oh, okay, well, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden I hear, motherfucker. I'm like, what the hell? Y'all, this man had burnt these ribs so bad. They were beyond charred. They were Nior. Like they were dark. They were gone. They were completely 100% cannot save them burnt. You know how sometimes people like the super the overdone barbecue where it's crispy? It was beyond that point. It was beyond it had went to hell, made a trip and came back point. Like they were burnt. He was livid. He's throwing stuff around and cussing and I can't believe I did this. Oh my God. Blah, blah, blah. Well, then the kids come back right at this moment. Like when he stops, you know, freaking out. The kids come back and he's like, y'all get noodles or something for dinner. And I'm like, I'm not eating no goddamn noodles for dinner. It's Mother's Day. You are not making me eat ramen noodles for dinner, sir. I don't care. Now, take it. He's frustrated. He just burnt dinner. He had all the side dishes cooked, burnt the ribs, and didn't know what else to do. And he was ready to give up. He's like, I give up. I quit. I tried to make it a nice day for you. And I'm like, dude, the fact that I didn't get bothered by kids all day was nice enough for me. 1, 2, you never asked me what I wanted for dinner. Now, I had set money aside for Mother's Day because I wanted Applebee's. And so he was like, okay, fine. What would you like for dinner? And I'm like, I actually wanted Applebee's. And he's like, why didn't you say that before? I'm like, you never asked me what I wanted. You just started cooking stuff. And he's like, so what was going to happen if I had made the stuff correctly and it hadn't burnt up? I'm like, I would have eaten it. I'm like, unlike a lot of y'all that live here, I'll eat just about anything as long as it's food and edible. I'm like, but you burnt the ribs. You could have easily have went to the store and got another rack of ribs. The problem was I had paid $50 for that rack of ribs and he burnt it. An entire rack of ribs. So I was like, I never told you I wanted ribs. I wanted Applebee's. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, no, I'm not. You never asked. Which is why I was asking you this morning what you were doing. And I thought that you would ask. And I didn't want to be rude and be like, I don't want that. I want Applebee's. I only wanted Applebee's because I've been dreaming about their quesadillas, okay? They have really good quesadillas. And so he was like, fine, we'll order Applebee's. And I was like, okay. So he starts finishing up some laundry to calm himself down. I placed the order at Applebee's. And he's like, do I need to go get it? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to save money on the tip and we're going to just have you go grab it. He's like, fine. So I was like, okay. So he goes, and I was like, as he's leaving, again, he's still mad. And so I was like, would you like to know what I ordered, everybody? And he's like, well, you don't usually tell me. I'm like, well, just in case. And he's like, no, I should be fine. I was like, all right. He goes out. He comes back like 20, 30 minutes later. He has a bag of food and our drinks. And I was like, oh, maybe, you know, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. I thought it looked a little light, but again, he's already frustrated, so let's not upset him anymore. So I go to start divvying out everybody's food, and I give Orion his hamburger, give Maggie her 2 quesadillas, or she has 2 chicken tacos, because she apparently has fallen in love with chicken tacos. But they have to be on the soft tortilla shell, not the hard tortilla shell. She doesn't like the hard, which is weird, because she likes crunchy things, but not hard tortilla shells. So I give her her food, and she had yogurt with hers, and I was like, okay, so there's her stuff. I pull out my quesadillas and my cinnamon rolls, and then I crunch the bag down. And he's looking at me like, hold up, wait, where's my food? And I'm like, you tell me. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you brought in 1 bag. This was everything in the bag. And he's like, what? And I was like, you're missing 2 of the entrees and Orion's french fries, and they burnt the cheese sticks. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, calm down. Just go back out and go get them. Now take it. By this time, it's freaking almost 9:30 at night. Our kids go to bed at 10 o'clock. He is livid. Mr. Coffee always has this type of luck when it comes to him trying to do something nice for me. And I've just gotten used to it at this point. Like, it doesn't faze me too much. Like, I've gotten used to it. And so when he's freaking out, I'm just sitting there like, dude, calm down. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Now, we have amazing, like, Father's Days and everything else. And he's trying to do better with, like, celebrating holidays and stuff like that, because he's not one to care about holidays too much. I did make sure he talked to his mom. I sent my stepmom a text message, because I didn't want to be on the phone. I couldn't be bothered. I can't. So I was like, no, I'm not calling, because what will end up happening is they'll trap me on the phone for like 3 hours, and I don't want to be on the phone. I don't really want to be bothered. So I was like, I'll send her a text. So I sent her a text message. She sent me one back, and I was like, that's good enough for me. So then I was just like sitting there with the kids, and I was like, well, we're going to eat the little bit that we do have here. You guys are going to run up and get showers. And then by the time Daddy gets back, the rest of the food will be here. The only person that had their entire meal was Maggie. So Maggie ate her food. She ate 2 chicken tacos and 2 big bowls of yogurt and strawberries. And she's like, I'm full. I gonna have a lot of dookie later. I'm like, ma'am, please. What is wrong with you? And so she eats her stuff. Orion eats his burger. He's like, I guess I'll just have fries when Dad gets home. I'm like, I guess, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. He goes, I'm gonna go get a shower. And I was like, all right. So he leaves to go get a shower. Maggie leaves to go make 2 big dookies, apparently. And Mr. Coffee comes back, and he's fuming. And I was like, could you please calm down? Like, it's kind of irritating at this point. Like, you should be used to this by now. And he's like, the fact that you are is what irritates me. And I'm like, well, you act like this isn't how all holidays go when it comes to me. My birthday is always garbage. Mother's Day is always garbage, which is part of the reason why I wanted to be left alone. So he's just like, fine. And so he gives me my entree, and I'm like, God dang it. How do I tell him nicely that I'm not hungry? I done waited so long. I'm not even hungry anymore because I ate my quesadillas. And the restaurant refunded us for half the meals because they had forgotten them. And I was like, you know, you don't have to refund us because I know it's Mother's Day and it's super busy for you guys. So, like, I'm not looking for a refund or anything, but I appreciate the offer. And the lady goes, no, this is our policy. If we mess up this bad, we have to give refunds for at least part of your meal. So she's like, I do apologize if we ruined your Mother's Day. I'm like, being alive right now ruins my Mother's Day, but that's okay. And she's like, oh, I was like, sorry, that got dark. And I just kind of hung up. I don't like Mother's Day. I don't. And that's not to knock anybody who's out here that does celebrate, that has wonderful family. I hope you had a wonderful time. I just personally do not like Mother's Day. So I could be a little dark on Mother's Day. And I tend to not go on social media too much because I when I'm in that mood, I will snap real quick. And so I was like, yeah, I better stay away from social media today because today is not my day. It's not my day. So finally the kids came back down. They ate the rest of Orion ate his fries. Mr. Coffee ate some of his food, and he just sat and played his game and farted and fumed for the rest of the evening. And I was like, thank you for the day. And he's like, nothing good came of this day. And I'm like, I didn't have to do anything. You did everything for me, so thank you. He's like, I guess. And I was like, dude, I'm not one to want expensive gifts or fancy things. I'm not built like that. I don't know what it is. When you grow up poor and then you get older to the point where you can buy stuff for yourself and do things for yourself, you don't necessarily, like, I don't necessarily have this, like, okay, you need to buy me, like, fancy jewelry or anything like that. It's very much, I want that one gift that costs you nothing, but it's the most valuable thing you can give me, which is your time. I don't get a lot of time with Mr. Coffee, so the fact that I got to spend the entire day with him was enough for me. And where I don't want to be bothered by the kids, I didn't necessarily tell them to leave the house, but it was nice that they took it upon themselves to go and entertain themselves for the day. Like, literally, these kids were out of the house all day. They came back for lunch and then went right back out. Not a single mommy was uttered. And even though the breakfast in bed thing didn't go as planned, it was still a nice thought. So overall, it wasn't a horrible Mother's Day. It was a Mother's Day that I typically expect. And so, like, I'm thankful to my husband and the kids for making it what it was. And me being in a foul mood also did not help things. So, like, it wasn't a bad day. It was just another day. So it's just one of those things, y'all. It's okay. Don't feel bad for me because, you know, no, don't do that. So yeah, so there was that. And then yesterday in the house, we celebrated a birthday. Yesterday, Mr. Killian Jones turned 8. So our Siberian Husky, Killian Jones, has now turned 8. Him's an old man. And so Maggie and I made him a homemade biscuit. And he shared it with Daisy. Literally, because he broke half of it off and then carried it to Daisy and then ate the other half. I thought it was really cute. He shared half of it with Daisy. What he didn't realize is that we had made one for Daisy anyways, but, you know, he shared, so that was nice. Apparently, my dogs are better at sharing than my children, which is saying a lot. But, yeah, and it's not his gotcha day. His gotcha day wasn't until, like, a month later. It literally was his birthday, so the day that he was born. So he's officially 8 years old. Him's a tired old man who is omitting puffs of glitter all over my mother freaking house. Y'all, the amount of dog fur on my floor. Before I started, I had to get a shower. And I was getting ready to vacuum because at this point, if somebody were to walk into my house, they could probably pet my carpet. Like, just pet it like it's an animal. Just pet it. There is so much dog fur on my carpet. I haven't vacuumed since Sunday. And this is what happens when I don't vacuum for a day or two in my house. Like, mass pandemonium. So I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I really need to vacuum. I started dusting. And then I'm like, oh, well, I need to get this done. Does anybody have ADHD when it comes to chores? And you start one, and then one will make you and remind you to start another one, which will run and make you think of another one. And then by the time you've started one, you have like 7 different things that you're doing all at once, and none of them are getting done because one chore reminds you to do another chore, and then that chore reminds you to do this, and then like I'll go clean up the kids' room, and Maggie will magically for some reason have a cup in her room, though we don't allow food upstairs. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I should probably go sweep the kitchen. So I'll bring the cup downstairs and start sweeping the kitchen. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably put this back in the bathroom. Go in the bathroom, start cleaning the bathroom because, oh my God, the bathroom needs clean. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably go do this. And then the living room will start to get vacuumed because there's dog fur in the bathroom. So maybe all over the carpet there's dog fur. So I need to vacuum the carpet. And then as I'm vacuuming, I'll see a toy of Maggie's. And then I'm like, oh, I should probably take this back upstairs. So then I'll take it upstairs. And then while I'm in Maggie's room, I'll start cleaning her room again to find something. And I'm like, oh, this belongs to Orion. Why is it in her room? Take it over to Orion's room, then start randomly cleaning up Orion's room. Now take it, my kids are old enough to clean up their own rooms, but for some reason, every once in a while, I'll give them 1 month or 1 day out of the month where I will clean their rooms for them. And then it's up to them to keep it clean. So then I try to do that, and it was not working. I spent like an hour trying to like get all this stuff done. I got nothing done. And I was like, oh, forget it. I don't think I'm going to do a whip and chat today because I need to get my house clean. And I got majority of the things that I need to get done. Like dusting and scrubbing the bathroom upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs being my bathroom. The kids' bathrooms are fine. And I was like, I really need to vacuum my floor. I just recently bought one of those pet scrapers. It's like a dog brush for your carpet. So for those folks who have dogs with a lot of fur that shed heavily like mines do, essentially it's like a comb for your carpet, and you just use it to get dog fur up. Now, I've been wanting one of these goddamn things for forever, since I found out that they exist, but I never had the money to get it. So because I got Twitch rich the other day, I decided I did a giveaway on my Twitch stream. Actually, I think we did 2. So we did 2 giveaways on the Twitch stream, and then I was like, okay, there's a couple of things I need. Like, I need to get my Pride nails for next month. So I bought those. I got some groceries for the house. Just some little things. And then I went on Amazon and I purchased the scraper because I actually freaking remembered. And I was like, okay, I actually remembered this time. Sorry, my head is itchy. I'm like, I actually remembered this time I'm going to get that pet thing. So I went ahead and ordered it, and Mr. Coffee's like, what's that for? And I'm like, it's to scrape the carpet of dog fur. Because half the time, the carpet itself is fine. Like, I'll vacuum it, and it'll just get covered in dog fur. The problem is, the dogs shed all summer. All summer. So even though it's not summer, it's warmer outside, and so they are constantly shedding. Doing a de-shed at the vets, or at the groomers, helps for about a week. And then they're back to shedding like normal. My dogs are very heavily shedding dogs. And then, again, half the time I'm wondering, how the hell do you still even have fur? Because by the amount of fur that you just omitted all over my house, you shouldn't have anything left. But apparently they still do. So I got that coming in on Thursday, which I'm excited about. But I still need to vacuum my freaking carpet. I actually I didn't become an adult yesterday. I did some adult type shit yesterday. I went bra shopping. Now, look, listen, I know a lot of y'all just grunted like, oh, God, Miss Coffee. Look, listen, summer is a-coming, okay? I've made a new friend. His name is Keith. Keith is one of the neighbors here in the complex. Keith works for one of the oil field companies. Now, Keith has a dog named Marley. Marley is a 1-year-old, what kind of dog is that thing? It's a 1-year-old Great Dane, okay? And Marley likes to come play with my dogs in the afternoon. So him and I will meet up outside with the dogs at the dog park and let the dogs play. And then if anybody else who has a bigger dog comes, their dog can come in and play with our dogs. Because typically when it comes to big dogs, most people are scared of them because, oh my God, your little dog's gonna eat my dog. So we kind of have like this little group of friends that gets together in the afternoon around 1 o'clock. We hang out for about 15 minutes and then everybody goes on their merry way. But it's a way for all the dogs to socialize with other dogs like their size. And we don't have to worry about the people around here that have smaller dogs. Because literally it's them that cause most of the trouble because you're not letting my little doggo get into the thing. I can't say Mitzi or Bitsy because if I do, Kathy Bean is going to come after me. Usually I would say Bitsy or something, but that's the name of her dog. And I'm pretty sure if I said Bitsy, she'd be like, hey, I feel attacked here, ma'am. So I'm not going to say Bitsy, but like the little dogs around the complex here, like most of the ladies that own them, they're not very nice. And so I'm like, you know, with having this newfound like friendship with the folks, a few of the folks here in the complex. Usually it's just me and Keith, but every once in a while people will come over and ask if they bring their dogs in, and I'm like, heck yeah, bring them in, more the merrier. But I don't want to be outside talking to this dude with my tits flapping in the wind. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to grab a couple of bras. Now, yesterday when I went to Walmart, I was not expecting to buy bras. I went in there like, okay, I'm going to buy, what was I going in there for? I was going to look for a pop socket. Did not get the pop socket. Didn't even look for it. I was going to get a pop socket, and there was something else, which I have a pop socket, but I don't remember where I put it. It has my chapstick in it. But I went in there for like 2 things, and I walked out with $200 worth of shit, and I was like, what the hell? And they were like, maybe like 4 or 5 bras, and I was like, God dang it. So I got the bras, and then Mr. Coffee comes home yesterday, and he goes, how was your day? And I'm like, it was all right. How was your day? And they're moving, his shop is moving up the street, and so they spent the entire day moving. And so he was tired as all get out when he got home yesterday. And I was just like, well, dinner's almost done. Luckily, because he ruined dinner on Sunday, but he still made the sides, there's no point for the sides to go to waste. So I was like, save the sides. I'll have and use them for tomorrow. I didn't have to make the sides yesterday, so I was super excited. We had mashed potatoes and corn on the cob. Let's go. So, he was like, you know, he goes to give me a hug. He like looks at me funny, and he hugs me again. And I'm like, what's wrong? Y'all, it's been like 2 years since I've actually like worn a bra. And so he's like, what the hell is this? And I was like, it's a bra. And he's like, are you leaving me? I'm like, am I leaving you? What the hell does me wearing a bra mean that I'm leaving you? And usually I'm a very modest person. I don't like showing a lot of skin. I don't like having my tatas hanging out. Every once in a while, if I'm wearing a tank top, I can't kind of help it because it's hot. But I'm not typically one that want to get attention from men, okay? Not in the least bit. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, with going out and talking to Keith, I don't want my boobs all out all over the place, making him think that there's a chance for him when in damn hell there's not. And he's like, who's Keith? And I was like, Marley. And he's like, oh, Mr. Coffee for some reason does not remember human names. But if you have an animal, he will remember the animal's name before he remembers yours. Does anybody else have a spouse or is like this? Because it's the weirdest thing. He has talked to this guy. Okay? They have talked before. And he has let the dogs play with Marley, and he has talked to this guy, does not know the guy's name. I have mentioned it 3 times, and he still doesn't know this guy's name. And this poor guy, he randomly will come out when he sees us out with the dogs. Because with having a puppy, of course, you're trying to get all the energy out of that freaking dog. So he's sitting there, and I'm like, Marley the dog. And he's like, oh, hold up. Why are you showing him your titties? I'm like, no, sir. I put a bra on, so I'm not showing him my boobs. And he's like, but I want to see boobs. And I'm like, stop it. So Mr. Coffee isn't exactly the happiest at the fact that the sweater puppets had to be put away into their cages, apparently. And I was like, dude, I was so happy with myself. I went and got myself new underwear yesterday. When's the last time you went out and bought underwear? Do not answer that in my comment section. You just go out and buy yourself new underwear because you know it's been about 6 years. You know the kind you got on right now got a hole in them. Go get yourself new underwear. I haven't bought some it's been a while since I bought new underwear. So I was like, I need some new like undergarments, if you will. And so I was very happy to go to Walmart yesterday and be able to buy them. 1, because usually I don't buy them because I always forget. And then 2, like the ones I have aren't bad. Like they're not in bad shape. There's no holes or anything in them. So I was just like, you know, I don't really need them right now. Well, I went ahead and bought them anyways, and I was a whole adult because I got super excited at what I found. And there was this one bra, and I was asking this yesterday. Ladies, look, listen. We all have that one bra that fits us like a glove that you love, but it's falling apart, okay? It's falling apart, and the only thing holding it together is unicorn farts, glitter, and duct tape, okay? And so I have one like this, okay? I literally had only owned one bra for the last 2 years. It was my favorite bra. It was a push-up bra. It made my girls look good. I didn't look all super like weird and like my boobs had been pushed to the center of my chest, like they only grow in like a triangle form or some crap. So this was a sports bra push-up that I had purchased. It was a Reebok one. And ever since I bought it, I haven't been able to find them anymore. Well, when I went to Walmart yesterday, I found it. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, they actually have it. So I bought it. And it came with a skirt to go with it. Because it's like a tennis outfit, almost. Pretty much. And so I bought it. And I was so excited. And I told Mr. Coffee, I was like, you don't even understand. I found it. And he's like, what did you find? I'm like, the bra that I've been looking for. And he's like, oh, I don't care. And I'm like, rude. And he's like, dude, I don't like it. I'm like, oh my God. So after I showed them, he goes, well, they're pretty at least. Yeah, they're pretty. And so I was excited. And I didn't want to, of course, like start shouting from the rooftops or anything about it. You know, I am apparently now, but I was just excited at the fact that I did some adult type shit yesterday. And it all worked out. And it was funny because I used to, for those who don't know, I did used to have a regular job. I've had a couple of regular jobs. One of them, I worked for Victoria's Secrets for a year. And of course, if you've ever been to a Victoria's Secrets, you know that they do bra fittings. So of course, I had to learn how to fit people for bras. I was so good at my job that I could pretty much almost eyeball it and tell you what size you wear. Don't ask me to do it now because I couldn't. But back then, I had fitted so many women for bras that I could tell you just by looking at you whether or not you were wearing the right bra or the wrong bra, what kind of bra would work better for the size that you have, and all that other fun stuff. And so when I went into Walmart, I hadn't been fitted for a bra in 2 years, and the girls have grown a little bit. They've grown enough that they get in the way now when I do stuff. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm looking, and there's an associate standing there by the thing. And I see she has like a tape measure on her desk. And I was like, excuse me, ma'am, can I borrow that tape measure real quick? And she's like, my tape measure? I'm like, I'm not even going to leave. I'm just going to stand right here. I just want to measure myself real quick. And she's like, oh, do you need a bra fitting? And I was like, yeah. So she goes, oh, well, I can do it. And I was like, okay. So she starts trying to measure me, but she can't figure out what she's doing. And I was like, look, it's like this. So I'm teaching the lady at Walmart how to fit women for bras, okay? And so I was like, you do it like this. And I'm showing her like where about to put the tape so that you can get the correct measurements. And then you do a little bit of mental math, like some plus and not so much a minus. And boom, you got your bra perfect size. So she was like, oh, I didn't realize that I had been doing it wrong. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, how many women do you fit for bras that were wrong? Because typically, I don't think Walmart typically does that type of thing unless you ask. And that's only if they have an associate there that knows how to do it. So, but typically, no, they're not over there just fitting people for bras, unfortunately. So the fact that she let me use a tape measure, like, kudos to her. And the fact that she let me teach her how to do it correctly so she was not, like, doing it incorrectly is also kudos. So I fitted myself. And yeah, they grew quite a bit since the last time I had a bra on. I was like, God dang it. And I'm like, this is about to get expensive. Again, $200 later. I only bought like, the only other thing I bought besides the bras was, what did I buy? I bought batteries. And and vitamins. Oh, okay. Batteries, vitamins, and paper, because I needed printer paper for my coloring book, because we did adult coloring yesterday on Twitch. I needed batteries because the kids' batteries and their controllers keep going out. And then I bought vitamins because the kids were out of vitamins, and I haven't had vitamins in probably like 3 or 4 months, and I was like, I should probably get back on my vitamins. So I got 2 things of vitamins and some paper, and I was like, all right, so I should be good to go. And then I saw the bras, and I was like, let me go look at these. So I was very proud of myself that I went in and got my bras, and I came home and I'm like, okay, now let's check to see if they actually fit, because I don't like trying stuff off in a store. And I figured, if they don't fit, then I'm just out of money, because I'm not returning them. That's weird. So I was like, all right. So I try them on. Fit like a glove. I was like, yes, let's go. They're not all tight and squeezing anything or whatever. I'm not restricted. I can move around. It's not uncomfortable. So I was like, let's go. I still got it. So yeah, so I did some adulting yesterday, and that was kind of fun. Maggie has been driving everybody in the house crazy with her recorder. Why they had to pick the recorder of all things. I mean, it could be worse. It could have been drums, but she has her little recorder, and she's super excited. Mr. Coffee found a few more spots for us to go, like, sightseeing this summer, and he wanted to make a game plan of when exactly we were going to go see these new sites. And of course, Orion immediately comes in with, when are we going back to the Badlands? And Maggie's like, yeah, Daddy, when do we get to go back to the Badlands? Now, the kids are used to this trip every year, and we thought we'd do something different by taking them somewhere else. No, they want to go to the Badlands. Or Maggie's like, I want to go see the buffaloes. And Orion's like, I want to see what other new animals they have this year. Every year we go, we see new animals. So, like, the first year we saw longhorns, which are essentially like cows, I guess. And they just have really long motherfucking horns. And then, or steers, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a barn farm person. Like, I'm just a normal person. Anyways, I'm slow. And so the first year we saw the longhorns. The second year we went, we saw wild horses. The third year we went, we saw rams. The last year, I don't think we saw anything like extravagant. I don't think. I think for the most part we went while it was too hot and everything was hiding. So every year essentially we see something new. And so the kids would like to go back to see what new things we can see. And then Orion goes in with the, Mom, do you think people ever die in the Badlands? I'm like, there actually have been quite a few deaths in the Badlands. And he's like, why? And I was like, well, because people take and get off the trail. And he's like, what about the animals? Won't the animals hurt you? I'm like, yes, they're animals. All animals will hurt you. And he's like, all animals? I'm like, yes. Animals instinctually will hurt you. Like, if they feel threatened or something, they will hurt you. And he goes, so if I threaten to take Daisy's food, will she hurt me? I'm like, no, Daisy's domesticated. And he's like, what does that mean? I'm like, meaning she's used to living indoors in a very pampered life. She's not a wild dog. Now, if it was a wild dog and you took their food, they would probably bite your face off. And he's like, oh God. And I was like, yeah. So if you're ever in the wild, and he's like, so who gives them their food? And I'm like, they find it off the land, sir. And Maggie goes, they eat the other animals. I'm like, Maggie. And he's like, oh, okay. So do we have to go hiking there? I'm like, no. So I think he's now afraid to go hiking at the Badlands. So, so I was like, no, dude, we don't have to go hiking. That's why we typically drive around. Plus, your sister, with her little legs, like, she can't hike. And so they're excited to go back to the Badlands. And so also the other day, I went out to Walmart because I was like, okay, it's getting warmer outside. And Orion had asked me to buy him some more shorts. So I was like, all right, bet. So I went over to Walmart because why buy expensive shorts for the summer? They're just going to run around and get them dirty. So I went over to Walmart and was like, all right. So I find some shorts for him and I find some tights for Maggie because Maggie's not really big into wearing shorts. So I buy her some tights. But I buy them in 2 sizes because since Maggie has been off her medication, Maggie is completely 100% free and clear of her medication. We did have a scare the other day as we were sitting there talking and she was asking for something. And as she started asking us for whatever it was she was trying to ask us for, she looked up and then turned her head. When she did that, we both kind of let out an audible gasp. And my immediate thought was look to Daisy, because if something was going to happen, Daisy would have ran over. Daisy was sitting there watching the entire time and didn't move. And I was like, okay, maybe she's lost her touch. Maggie, on the other hand, was just standing there with her head up in the air looking at whatever. And we thought something was like she was going to ready to have a seizure. No, she was just thinking. Did she scare the piss out of us? Yes. Yes, she did. So we had to ask her, you know, please don't do that right now. Like, this is not the time to be funny, okay? Like, we literally just weaned you off medication and we need to make sure you're okay. So you coming out here trying to be funny is not cute. And she's like, I was thinking. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure because you out here doing weird things. Anyways. So the other day when I went to the store to buy Orion shorts, I bought Maggie some tights. But I bought them in 2 different sizes because since she's been free and clear of her medication, she has been eating me out of a house and home. I'm pretty sure she hit a growth spurt the moment she stopped her medication because she has done nothing but constantly eat. Am I mad about it? Hell no. Let her gain some weight. She has gained probably 3 pounds since we started weaning her off her meds. Okay? 3. Might not sound like a lot to y'all, but to me, that's a huge milestone because she hasn't gained weight in like 2 years. So that's a huge milestone. I was super excited and I was like, let's go Maggie. So when I bought her tights, I bought them in 2 different sizes. 7, 8, which she's been in for like the last 2 or 3 years. And then I bought her 10, 12 because I'm like hoping she will grow. Y'all, the 7, 8s were too small. The 7, 8s were too small. And I was like, oh, I don't even have my receipt, but oh my God, the 7, 8s were too small. So she has officially gotten out of 7, 8 pants and is now in 10, 12 pants. And she's like asking for tutus and hair bows and, Mommy, can I go back to wearing hair bows? And I was like, I gotta go find you hair bows. So now she wants hair bows and she was super excited the other day because when I was streaming, I was supposed to have a What You Got Wednesday this week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have it. I only have 2 packages. I will hold it off until we get more packages because I was told by a couple of people that they wanted to send stuff. I just asked that if you're going to send stuff, the kids have enough books. They have enough books. They're good. They have enough books for the entire summer. They are straight. Please don't send books. Unless they're like activity books. Orion likes anything with cats. And he loves like word searches and crossword puzzles. And Maggie's the same. She likes anything that's word searches and crossword puzzles, but she likes unicorns and cats and all kinds of animals. But she got an activity book from Alisa Saturday, and she immediately went to go start looking for words in her word search. And she had completed one of the word searches all by herself, and she was all excited. And she was like spelling the words as she was finding them. And so she learned how to spell a few words that she didn't know before. So if anything, if you're thinking of sending the coffee children something, word search, word finds, those are the best activities you can give the kids. They love those freaking things. And it's one of the few things that they will do together. So yeah. That's not me saying that you have to. I'm just saying if you're wanting to send something for the kids, that's an idea of something you can send for them. So yeah. So everybody in the coffee house is doing well. Mr. Coffee is starting to feel a little bit better. His acid reflux has been managed now. He's on like Prilosec OTC or something. And he's been doing better. He's just been super tired because, again, they're moving at work. So, essentially, they're having to move all the heavy machinery right up the street from where he is currently working out of. Their shop just moved. So, they're moving all the shop stuff to the new place. And so, he's been super tired from that. Sorry, I'm trying to get all these things in here. I think on Friday we'll finish this on live, and then I'll pull out a coloring page. So I'm not going to complete it completely. Like, I will probably get over to this section here. I'm going to finish this section, and then I'll probably finish the rest of it, like filling it in offline. And then when we come back Friday for live, I'll fill in the rest. Just a heads up, we have 2 more live streams here on YouTube before I transfer them all over to Twitch. Again, Nothing else is going to change. You will still get video content over here. I will do Twitch replays over here. I'm just not going to be live streaming over here after June 1st. So T-Ma from DP with Sparklers is going to be taking that time slot. So you won't be left alone. I'm leaving you in really good hands for those folks who don't come over to Twitch. And then for those folks who come over to Twitch, we'll probably be starting at 8 p.m. instead of 9. And we'll probably go for like 3 to 4 hours. And then we'll have a community game night like at the end, just to kind of let everybody like wind down and relax after, you know, diamond painting for so long. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, the family's doing well. And we're excited for summer. The kids get out May 25th for summer. So they're excited to get out. I'm excited to not have to drive them to school every morning. I'm not even going to lie. Like, that's like my biggest woohoo, is the fact that I don't have to drive them to school every morning after May 21st or 25th. And so, yeah. So everybody's doing well. The dogs are doing well. Like I said, Killian just celebrated a birthday. He's officially 8 years old. Daisy's doing well. The ferrets are doing well. They've been kind of cooped up a little bit, though, because of the heat. They don't do well in the heat. So I'm so scared when the temperature changes, because they don't fare well in the heat, and I'm always scared they're going to get stuck somewhere and we won't be able to get them out. So they've been a little cooped up, but they'll get out today to roam around and do like ferret stuff. whatever ferret stuff is, they'll get out to do that. So yeah, so we're all doing good. And we here at the coffee house hope that you're doing well also. So yeah, so that's I think that's all I got for you today. I think that's all the updating. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish this row here, and then I'll finish filling it in and everything when we're done here, because I really want to go finish cleaning my house. Y'all literally almost did not get a whip and chat today because I was so busy trying to get things cleaned. So I'm going to go clean while I have the energy, because if you know, you know, okay. I got to do it while I have the energy, or it will not get done. So I'm going to go clean my house now. So thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to all the crazy shenanigans at the coffee house. Again, the love that you guys show me here on YouTube is reciprocated from the coffee house. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are staying safe and that you're doing well. And until next time, whether I see you on YouTube or whether I see you on Twitch, either way, I'll see you when I see you. But please always remember to be kind to others, because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do. And always stay cool. Bye, guys.